Okay, so this is just a quick video to show you how your existing data will have transferred into the new version of the software, what's new in the new version, and how you'll be able to continue to use your existing data in the existing setup that it is right now. It's not designed to be a new tutorial on the new features that are in there, purely to make sure that you can continue to operate and use your existing information. Okay, so that's predominantly the quotations and jobs menus that we're going to be looking at. So if we go into this client record and look at the quotations screen, the first thing that you'll notice really is that in the item details grid at the bottom, you'll see there's a new header bar appeared that's called base services. So base services is where we've put all your existing data. So as you can see here, all the items are transferred into this base services group. Now it's called a service group. What we've introduced are multiple service groups that you can set up, and so they could be, for instance, carpets, upholstery, rugs, wood floors, hard floors, oven cleaning for those of you that do that. So you can set all those up as different services, and by default all your existing data has been transferred into one that we call base services. Now the reason we've created these service groups, or created it so that you can make multiple service groups, is to give you much more flexibility. So you'll see on this base services header here that we've now got service 1 is clean only, service 2 is clean and protect, service 3 is healthy home. Now they'll continue to be set up however you've got those set up in your system. But what it means by having different service groups is that each of these service groups can have different service headers. So for instance, this is would perhaps be suitable for carpets, so you would have clean only, clean and protect, healthy home for carpets. But for wooden floors you may want to set up strip, clean, polish, for instance. So you can set up different service headers for different service groups. So that's just a little bit of information about what we've done. How to set those up and other things will be in the tutorial video for setting up service groups. So let's just go back to what you've got now in here, which is base services. So you will find all your existing item codes still operate under this base services here. So that's looking at an existing quote that's on the system. If I put a new quote on the system again now, that's done using the add new quote button at the top there. That adds a quotation onto the quotation summaries line as it did previously, but you'll notice that there's less information at the top here, and it'll become evident where the information is displayed. So previously we used to add items onto the grid at the bottom section here. What we do now is we use the add item box here. So we can either type an item code into here and it will appear. So I can type L for lounge and hit return and it will appear, and you'll see it appears under base services, lounge carpet as previously. Or we can use the blue button at the side that opens up and allows that list to be selected. So I could now choose dining room, for example, drawing room, sorry, for example, and that will appear on here under base services as well. So instead of actually adding new items on in the grid, they're added using this add item, either the box if you know the code or the selection box if you want to pick from the list. You'll also notice as well that we've moved some of the information that used to be on the quotation summary line down onto the item details line. So you can see here that we've got a gross total and an after item discount total here as well. So they're now displayed within this item detail grid section at the bottom rather than in the quotation summary at the top. And when you see the video on how you can add additional service groups, you'll realise why that's been done. Now, as previously, we've got the quote history in the middle grid, and we've introduced these open and close boxes, so we can click the plus sign and that'll display the information there. So you can see under the base services here we've got all the previous quotes and the two most recent quotes as well. So really not much has changed in terms of the existing data that you've got set up and how you would use it. It's just a matter of adding the items using the add item boxes and the drop down list rather than actually entering into them into grid. There are some other features and things that have been added, but they'll be covered in just an overview of the additional new bits and also in the tutorial videos as well. So that should mean that you can continue to operate exactly with your setup as it is, everything operating under base services, using the add item and the selection list, And if you watch the video on what's new, what's changed, what's tweaked, that'll show you some of the other features that are there, and then you can perhaps look at the tutorials as well for those new features and see about implementing those. There's also a video on setting up service groups and the pricing tables, and not only that, how you can then transfer slowly all your perhaps carpet items over to a carpet group, and then upholstery items over to an upholstery group, and change them over slowly and steadily to suit you. So have a look at those other two videos as well, but this one means that you can continue to work.